Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. They're only going to make you cry. And so that was definitely playing in my head rent-free, especially because in the locker room I kept hearing that they were giving these decisions away and that the judges were a little crazy tonight. So I was definitely concerned about that. And then when I heard split, I was like, oh, golly. I didn't know. But I thought in my head I had done enough.
In the fourth round, she came out hard as you. Obviously, it turned out you had won the first 3 rounds on all the scorecards, but she came hard in the fourth round and she hurt you. What goes through your mind at that point? Because you got to feel like you were in control of the fight, and then all of a sudden you're hurt and you're kind of reeling a little bit. How did you get it turned back around?
Staying calm. Flowing like water, as my jiu-jitsu coach, Luis Claudio, always says, is just to stay calm and make sure that you're not, spazzing out, because that's only going to get you more tired. I know that I am tough. I know that I am durable, and I know that I'm never out of the fight, and I'm never going to give up on myself. So you're literally going to have to kill me in there in order to get me to stop. And I knew that even though I had been hurt, that I wasn't down and out, and I'm never going to count myself out. So for me, it's just, the definition of a true fighter.
After you got up after that right hand and she started getting you on the cage and landing some shots there, were those hurting you? Or, they seem like they were clean, but were they?
No, not at all. I would have to rewatch the fight, but no, I do not recall those shots hurting me.
And then, was she better than you thought, right? It was a very close fight. However, somebody scored the fight. Do you think that she was a better fighter than you gave her credit for going into the event?
I had just prepared for Raquel for a long time. I realized that she's a veteran and that she's tough and she's durable. But she, I don't think, did much that surprised me other than that head kick that definitely landed.
And then last thing, when you beat Amanda, it's like this huge upset. Nobody can believe it. One of the big things. And this is a fairly even fight going in. So how does it feel to regain the belt compared to winning it that first time and beating a legend like Amanda?
It's a great time. It's a great life achievement. I am the first person to give birth and win a world title. And then I was able to do that a second time. And so, not taken away from anybody else, but just to say that that's never been done. Also, I won the Ultimate Fighter, and she felt that she was supposed to win the Ultimate Fighter. So again, to go full circle and say, I am the true Ultimate Fighter. I am the last woman standing. I am the one that, is to be beaten, and you have to come and take it away from me, and you're going to have to come pry it out of my cold, dead fingers, because I am not giving up on it. To climb the mountain again, to show little girls all over the world, to put more eyes, more focus on the women's bantamweight division, or just women in general. My job is to usher in the new up-and-coming talent and to make sure that the sport of women's mixed martial arts grows. And as I have a 6.5-year-old daughter sitting at home watching me, I just want to, inspire her, show her what perseverance, grit, determination, willpower, hard work, and discipline will get you. So, if I inspire my daughter, that's the only one that I truly care about. But if there's another little boy out there or a little girl out there that says, I want to do that, I can achieve my dreams, then that's the end goal.
And last question for me, when you watched that last fight, did you get a chance to watch the main event?
No, I did not. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Sorry. Thanks, Kevin.
Julianna, right here.
Hi.
Obviously, you said, Raquel, she's a veteran, you're a veteran. You guys have fought pretty much everyone in this top 15, and usually when you get these veteran matchups, it's always the little things that kind of push the winner over the edge because they've seen so many things. So I guess, what do you think you presented in there that kind of gave you that edge in this very close fight at the end?
One of my coaches is living rent-free in my head because he told me when we were game planning, you've never won the first round before. And so when I was in there, and I think I was like, I think I won the first round. I think that might be the first time that I've actually won in the first round, aside from Jessica Rakoczy when I took her out in the first round, or some of the other girls that I took out in the first round. So for me to be able to prove that I can win the first round was actually, that might even be more ginormous for me mentally than winning the belt. I'm very happy about that.
And what was it like having Bilal in your corner, another former champion in there? He just pulled off the biggest win of his career.
Former and current. Me and Bilal have this little side joke going on because he went on Joe Rogan and he says, now our gym has a real champ. And that's how he ended, the 3.5 hours. And I thought, real champ? Like, what was mine fake? Like mine's like I wasn't a real champ. I was offended, So every time I see him, I'm always like, "What's up, real champ?" And so now for us to have two real champs, in the gym is just an amazing feat. And again, not only just the little girls or the little boys, but the kids in our gym that are trying to come and achieve, the ultimate goal that we have done. We are inspiring them, and we are showing them what hard work and determination will get you. So to have Bilal in my corner is an absolute pleasure. It's an honor. I trust his eyes, and I'm just so happy that he was able to be in there with me. I went to Manchester to support him. The only thing I'll have to say is, what a bully, dude. He didn't let me freaking sit down in the 4th round, and my coach wouldn't give me water in the 4th round either. I think I was more mad about that than anything.
And then you have this unique position where you have possible 2 big fights in front of you. Obviously, you called for the Amanda Nunes fight, which you said could be the biggest fight in this MMA history, I think, is what you said. But then they showed Kayla Harrison. She was watching back here. They showed a split screen with you and her. She stood up making the belt motion. Obviously, you want the Amanda fight, but you are in this unique position where either route you take, you get a lot of eyeballs on you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when I saw Amanda retire that day in Canada, I was sitting cage side and I was booing. And it was because I didn't believe that she was truly done. And then you hear Dana White saying, I think she retired too early. And then you watch her, and I feel like she's just twiddling her thumbs, wondering, what is my identity? What am I doing? I'm bored. Like, who am I if I'm not, fighting in the UFC? So there's an air that I feel that she misses the sport, that she's looking to, find something that's going to, make her want to come back. Kayla never mentioned her name when she beat Holly Holm, and she sure is not mentioning her name now. None of the other girls were mentioning Amanda's name that they considered the greatest of all time, yet I was, and I never shied away from that, and I still am, because I truly do not believe that she's done. I think she retired too early. I think that she's looking for something to do, and, that to me is the biggest fight in women's mixed martial arts history, because we're 1-1. My fight against her the first time was so dominant I made her tap. Our second fight, I ran out of time. I lost a decision handedly, fine, no problem. But it would be nice to put it to bed once and for all and get that trilogy fight that I feel that she ran away from.
And I do have to ask, did you watch Kayla's fight? And if you did, what did you make of her performance?
I was, to be honest, I'll tell you, I was warming up and focusing on my own fight. But with that being said, I had my coaches there watching the fight and kind of giving me the 411 on what was going down. We're not impressed. She said she was going to put an elbow through her skull and she was going to, do all this damage. Like, the girl didn't have a scratch on her. It was boring, and she didn't do anything that, jumped off the pages like, ooh, the boogeyman, you know what I mean? So I was definitely, especially with, hearing from my team, not impressed.
Do you think that has something to do with Kayla, or Ketlin was just tougher than maybe Kayla gave credit to?
I definitely think that at some point or another, like Ronda, when you figure out the one-trick pony of being able to stuff a takedown, you realize that the fight is more competitive and more even than, people want to give it credit for. So I think that, once you stuff the takedown, you realize that you're actually in a tougher fight than you thought you were. And I think that that's kind of what played into her head tonight.
Julianna, first off, congratulations on the win. How did the altitude feel?
What do you mean?
I know you had the comments on the altitude, so how did it feel tonight?
What altitude? I'm just kidding. It was great. I fought here before, and I think that, I feel bad because Raquel was saying, she made a mistake not training at altitude and woo, woo, woo. And I was like, you need to focus on yourself and quit worrying about me. And I trained for altitude, and I did not want to put a ginormous pressure on myself because, like I said to some of the media when I first got here, if you're in shape, you're in shape. And that's at the end of the day, once that cage door closes, you have to know how to fight, and you have to learn how to find another gear. And that, to me, is what separates me from some of these other fighters.
And if your wish doesn't get granted of Amanda coming back to fight you, how big do you really think that Kayla Harrison fight could be? Because if we're honest, she does have a lot of hype around herself. You just got the belt back, so how big could that fight be in your opinion?
Yes, if Amanda cowers away again and does not come back and fight me, then yes, you're absolutely right. Kayla brings a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention to the sport, and I love that.
And I know you were locked in getting ready for your fight, but I'm not sure if you spotted there were some Venezuelan flags out there tonight. So did you get to see any of that, and what did you make of that?
Yeah, my parents were responsible for bringing over my aunts and uncles legally to the United States. I just want to throw that in there, and it was so great. The UFC was delightful. They gave me, you know, close to 20 tickets so that my family from Venezuela could come and watch me tonight. And that's the first time that they've ever seen me fight live. And it was incredible to be able to share this moment with them, because the last time I went to Venezuela, I was 8 years old. And I haven't seen my uncles, my cousins, my aunts since I was 8. So the whole thing was extremely emotional for me. And I'm just very proud that I was able to get the win in front of them tonight.
And lastly, I know your daughter's been one of your biggest fans in your whole fight career. What did she say to you after this fight?
Oh yeah, her dad sent me a video of her going nuts and literally like falling over the floor and screaming and cheering, and she put on her little doctor's outfit and said that she was going to give me a Band-Aid and nurse me back to health. We joked, you know, the entire time about eating cheeseburgers and having a Coke, and she first said, we're going to have 100 cheeseburgers. I said, we're going to have 100 cheeseburgers, baby. And then she moved the number from 100 to 1,000, and so tonight she said, we're going to eat 1,000 cheeseburgers and have a Coke. And I say, yes, we are, baby. So I'm really excited to get back home so that I can, you know, eat maybe probably one. That's as much as my stomach could probably fit in right now.